Hi. I'd like to tell you about a big new development at STPC. Over the last few months, quite a few people have asked me the question, when are we going to get a new pastor? And we really started to look at this in earnest at the beginning of the summer. We asked, what do we really need, and what would be the function of this pastor? So we decided it would be primarily two things. Number one is people care, and that includes counseling, visitation, weddings, shepherding. And the second function would be administration, keeping things going behind the scenes. As we thought about how to fill these needs, we realized that we already have exactly the guy we want. Jeff Jacobsen, who serves as our executive director and as a ruling elder on the session of STPC. Jeff was called into ministry by God when he was in his teens, and he has already been in full-time ministry for most of his adult life. In January, he was ordained as an elder here at SDPC. Though he has never served as a pastor, God has brought Jeff through some amazing experiences and has uniquely equipped him to minister the hope of the gospel to people in very difficult situations. The other elders on the session unanimously agreed that we would like to see him become a pastor in this church. As Jeff prayed about this with Ann and with his kids, he felt called to pursue this new step in pastoral ministry. In the PCA, a pastor has to be ordained as a teaching elder and has to undergo rigorous spiritual and theological examinations in order to qualify. Since Jeff does not have a Master of Divinity, he would be eligible for ordination under what is called the Extraordinary Clause. After talking it over with the Candidates and Credentials Committee of our Ohio Valley Presbytery, they thought it best for him to begin taking examinations for licensure in order to get to know the presbytery before we ask them to vote on allowing him to pursue ordination as a teaching elder. So that's where we're at. Over the next months, Jeff will be taking examinations at presbytery for the purpose of licensure and possibly for future ordination as a pastor. But whether or not Jeff is ever a pastor in title, I would strongly encourage you to think of him as a pastor in function. So please join me and join us as we celebrate this new step for Jeff, and we thank God for his provision to our church. And please pray for Jeff and Ann in these new steps. Next week, we are going to have another big announcement about some next steps as a church.